Howdy guys, it's Joe here, and today we had the blessed Blizzard, the Overwatch team, buffing up McCree. Now, it honestly wasn't the buff that we were all hoping for. I feel like a lot of people were hoping that they'd make his bullets bigger, they'd make them do more damage, they'd make them come out faster, they'd make so that his fan the hammer was better, they'd make so that his combat roll was actually good, they'd make so that his hitbox was smaller, anything like that. Something generally to his kit that would boost his power, but nope, you didn't get anything like that. Which, I don't know, I guess you can take that any way you want to. McCree's really not been in a great spot for quite a while now, hasn't really been able to counter these people that can get into the back line. And with this brand new change, I guess he kind of can a little bit, but still, he can't really honestly do his job way too well, even to this day. Even with that said, though, even without the buffs that we were all hoping for, and even without becoming the most OP DPS, I feel like he's pretty good now. He actually became quite a bit better, mainly for the fact that his ult is finally usable. What they did, his main buff that actually happened this patch, was that they made so that his ultimate, instead of taking 0.8 seconds to start charging up and locking onto people, now it takes 0.2 seconds. And now instead of charging up 20 damage per second, then 30, then 40, then 50, as his ultimate used to do, it now charges up at 80 damage per second and then goes up from there. So essentially, with those weird numbers, it means that McCree's ultimate is going to be coming out a lot faster. Like a second faster, essentially, and going to be charging up damage more than a second faster. So his ultimate's like 1 to 2 seconds quicker. Which on paper, I guess, doesn't sound, way too strong. But actually, when you play with it, it's really nice. Especially, I found this ultimate useful right now, in order to just get a nice pick. If people are at far range, and if they don't have someone like a Hanzo or a Widow that can pick you off like that, or I guess an Ana, you can just ult, and they can try to shoot you, but you charge your ult so fast, you can just blast through them. Easily get a pick, and then go in there. It's very similar to his previous ult, which is the same ultimate, where it's not always the best for a full team wipe, because it still does take a second. Takes less time, but it still does take a second. But to get a pick, it's actually pretty nice like that. And if you find someone by themselves, you can actually pick them off from a decent range. With that said, I feel like what they were trying to do with his ult is make so that it was better close range and better in 1v1, stuff like that. And while it is, especially against certain characters like Reaper that, if you get them at a medium range, you're doing pretty well. Against the characters that he's supposed to counter, that be it Tracer and Genji, his ultimate is still pretty terrible, let's be honest. For the most part, you're ulting, they could just jump on you and insta-kill you. I really wish that they made so that you could finally combat roll in this ability, or in this ultimate, so that you can look at the opponent, combat roll out of the way, and then shoot them. That, I feel like, would make so that McCree is finally having a good ultimate. But as far as it is right now, often you're gonna ult, and the Tracer's gonna kill you. You're gonna ult, and the Genji's gonna kill you. Now, of course, if they're at medium range away, you're semi-safe, and it's probably going to work out. But he really doesn't counter the people that he's been having problems with and the people that he's honestly supposed to counter. Other than pharah. And I'm very happy for this. McCree's ultimate bodies pharah now, at least in my own opinion. If pharah is not always right next to a corner, like 1 inch away, since she doesn't move way too fast in the air, since nobody can actually speed boost her, you can just ult when she's in the middle of the field, blast her before she can kill you, and there you go. The pharah mercy problem is gone. It's actually really nice. His old ultimate just took way too long. Essentially just made so that Mercy could heal way too fast. They could get out of the way too fast. It wasn't way too great. But the way it is right now, pharah Mercy is actually kind of screwed by you a lot more. Just because, simply put, it charges up a lot faster. Now, as well with this, I will say that, I wish that they kind of made so that his ult would actually charge faster itself, so that you could get your ultimate more often, so you can duel with it more often. It still takes quite a decent amount of time to get, considering that for the majority of the time it's going to be an ult that you get, honestly, 1, maybe 2 kills with max. But, maybe we're going to see a buff like that in the future. Now, some final stuff I want to talk about with his ult is that now he has some very, very, very fun team wipe combos that you can do. Now, I'm not going to say that these will work if you're playing with random people. They might, but it works a lot better if you're with some of your friends. But if you can get a Earth Shatter into an ultimate as McCree now, you can actually instantly pretty much pick off the supports and half damage the tanks from the enemies before they can do anything. That is actually really, really good. As well with this, if you can get something like a Mei ultimate, you can easily kill a lot of characters. And really any crowd control ultimate that you can get, or crowd control ability you can get that you can pair up with McCree, it equates to an instant pick, or at really any range as well, I want to say, or equates to an instant team wipe. You do have to make sure that you set this ability up. It's still an ability that must do that quite a bit. But you actually can finally get a few team wipes because it comes out so much faster. And if you've been a person that has wanted to get that, achievement, where you have to get 4 kills with your ultimate, right now might finally be the time. It'll be a lot easier than before. Overall, though, I feel like the ultimate's a lot better, makes the character a lot better, and depending on how it's played, if we go like, let's say, for example, Zarya McCree, and McCree's using his nice ultimate, and you're fighting against like a Genji and Tracer, well, if you have Zarya, you can actually ult and counter those backline characters. So we're gonna have to see how people actually pull this out. I feel like this ult could make or break the character. Right now, he's pretty much broken as far as not that great. But with this brand new ultimate buff, they could actually make so that he's usable a lot more for getting kills with this, so that he can get a lot more team wipes with this, and everything that I said earlier. And actually, if you are playing with a few tanks, so that you can counter other people in the backline. As of with this, I do just want to remind you guys, though, you still are super vulnerable. You're gonna die a lot, and I wish that that was slightly changed, because that does kind of counteract a lot of the duelingness of this ult. For the majority of the time, you will kill faster if you use your ultimate, but you will also be killed faster. One tip that I can say to you is that if you have a Zenyatta or if you have a Mercy, ask for them to heal you and then ult, and then you can beat out like any flanker. If you're being healed by 1 or 2 people that have nice healing, your ult essentially will instantly counter these flankers. So that's a thing that you can try to do if you want to try that out yourself. But anyways, that's at least my own opinion about this ult. I feel like he does become quite a bit better, and we might actually see him become an overpowered pick if we can see this ultimate used to its fullest. But as far as right now, I feel like it's still going to be worse than Soldier, quite a bit worse. Maybe he'll be okay now because Reaper's so much better, I think. But you know, whatever. I feel like it's still going to be a pretty good pick, a little bit better now, but definitely not overpowered and probably not the best TPS unless we see some nice team wipe combos that could maybe happen in esports. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, guys, have a wonderful day.